Welcome to the third annual Center for the Future of War conference. It began 3 years ago and it continues to grow. For all of you here this morning, thank you for attending, and for those online this is being streamed, we welcome you to the conference as well. You're a big part of what we're all about. I represent Dr. Michael Crow, the president of Arizona State University, so he sends his greetings to each and every one of you. And I was lucky to be present when the keel was laid for this whole work between Dr. Crow and Anne-Marie Slaughter, when they had this vision to create this work, this critical work. And what Arizona State University strived to do was to be a learning partner as a part of this, to have New America lead the way, become cutting edge, look out to the front, but have Arizona State University be that teammate that preserved the information, that explored the information. And so today we find ourselves 3.5 years later with over 100 adjunct professors from Arizona State University as a part of this work. Many teammates from New America, who you'll hear from today, doing the work of this Center for the Future of War. Today is a culmination of a lot of different activities, and you'll hear wonderful speakers that will begin with our service chief from the United States Army, followed by the Air Force, and then topics from the CEO and president of Alphabet, all the way down to discussions of Colombia, Syria, and social media. So a broad range of discussions today, all critical, all leading up to where we are, and yet the work will continue. And so we encourage each and every one of you to be an active participant, not only today, but for 365 days, to continue to ponder this question about America and America's role in the future of conflict. At Arizona State University, we're the #1 university for 2 years in a row for innovation. And part of that is because we have strategic partnerships with innovative entities like New America. We continue to push the envelope in higher education. We have 92,000 students. We're the largest public research university in the United States, and we'll continue to strive to provide excellence, impact, and opportunity for the men and women who come to Arizona State. Why is this work so important? I think about the work of Robert A. Dowdy, who wrote The Seeds of Disaster, a study of the French doctrine from 1919 to 1939. And in his book, what Dowdy writes about is the fact that the French got it wrong. When they looked at the future of war in 1919 and saw the tank as an infantry support weapon, airplane as something that wasn't necessarily integral to the combined arms team, and a radio that was just to help facilitate messaging, versus the Germans, who looked at combining the strength of air power, ground power through armored vehicles enabled by the technological means of air and ground talking to each other and coordinating. The French found themselves in 1940 totally unprepared and stunned and out of the fight in months after years of preparation. Let it not be this generation, nor us, who have failed to be vigilant and look to the future and the implications of technology, the implications of pace of change, the implications of all that we see in the world today. Senator McCain often talks, I serve at the McCain Institute for International Leadership. He talks about that in time of service, both in uniform and out, this is the most dangerous time that he's ever seen in the world. So it's particularly important that we pause today and focus through the lens of the Center for the Future of War, and focus on what might be both today and tomorrow regarding the Center of the Future of War and what war looks like. No one could be better poised to help lead us in this than Anne-Marie Slaughter, the president and CEO of New America. She is a remarkable teammate and a remarkable leader. And I was thinking on the way over today, Congress has made today Rosie the Riveter Day for what women did in the Second World War to build combat power and enable combat power, build the strength of the arsenal here, even fly the aircraft abroad, women at the helm, and enabled the fighting. And that's what Anne-Marie's all about. She's a riveter because she rivets organizations together. President and CEO of New America, she's also the Burt G. Kersletter 66 Princeton University Professor Emeritus of Politics and International Affairs. From 2009 to 2011, she served as the Director of Policy Planning for the United States Department of State and was the first woman to hold that leadership position. Upon leaving the State Department, she received the Secretary's Distinguished Award for her work in leading the Quadrennial Diplomacy and Development Review, as well as Meritorious Service Awards from the United States Agency for Internal Development and the Supreme Allied Commander for Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, our great teammate from New America, Anne-Marie Slaughter.
Thank you. That was lovely. Thank you. So I have to start by saying we're enormously proud of our partnership with Arizona State University for so many reasons, because they are and have been for the last couple of years ranked the most innovative university in the country. And we are all about innovation, but also, and more broadly, even though many of us come from small selective institutions, it is these large public universities that are going to be the places that our soldiers, our warriors, our leaders come from. And what ASU is proving is that those universities can take in a large number of students who reflect the population of their states and do great research and attract great faculty. That's a new model of how we educate people in the 21st century, and it is thus entirely appropriate that ASU and New America partner on things like the future of war, and actually we have another partnership on the future of technology. So this is our third Future of War conference, and we bring together all of you, many of you have been here before, experts from government, military, the private sector, the civic sector, journalism, academia, and we try to shape the discussion of how war is changing. This is not about the next DoD budget bill, although I may ask General Milley about that, but it is about the longer term issues, how with technologies, demographics, the changing threat landscape, what does the future of war and thus the future of peace look like? This conference will also address the human costs of war, the moral injury panel, how to build a sustainable peace, the panel with Séverine Autesserre, and how, as I said, the future of peace, to avoid war altogether. I want to take just a minute to thank our corporate sponsors, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, and Deloitte. We are very grateful for their generous support. Without it, frankly, we couldn't do this. And now, before I introduce General Milley, you have to bear with me one moment. My new book publishes today. I was a little late. I was just finishing it, just those last few words. But it's directly relevant to what we're talking about today. It's called The Chessboard and the Web, Strategies of Connection in a Networked World. And it argues that the future of war, and frankly, the future of foreign policy more generally, is not just a matter of statecraft, the chessboard. We do this, Russia does that. We do this, Russia does that. How many moves can we see ahead? That is classic military strategy and classic foreign policy strategy. It's highly relevant, but the future of war and the future of foreign policy is equally a matter of webcraft, of what non-state actors do and how we bring other non-state actors to counter them. It's a matter of connection, disconnection, and misconnection. And we need to be as strategic in thinking about how to build the networks that will counter networks of bad actors as we are in thinking about what to do about our traditional adversaries. So you have to forgive me, but that's not every day that you have a conference and a book that publishes on the same day. So I now have the great pleasure, for the second year in a row, of introducing you heard this last year, but Princeton rules demand us to say this, my 1980 classmate, General Mark Milley, who is the Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army.